Hello, this is Heather O'Donnell, and I am recording my mentor response for Workshop 6. I met with Pastor Brian this week. We met for an hour, and we're able to discuss the Celebrating Disciplines text as well as the Sacred Pathways text. I shared with Pastor Brian the Celebrating Spiritual Growth Through Discipline paper that I did, as well as the chart that I created to sort of find a better way to implement and make it more manageable, the disciplines in my life. He was pleased to see that I had created something of my own, and said that he can definitely tell that I am a doer and task-oriented, which is interesting because that's the ENFJ. The J is a task-oriented person, whereas the P, which I have always been before, is more flexible and less task-oriented. But interesting. I was low on the J scale, but still, he felt that I was demonstrating that orientation to getting things completed. We talked about the personality test as well, and I explained to him what my type indicator was, and we talked a little bit about the N for intuitive, because that was actually the highest type indicator area for me. The rest are all lower, and we talked about the fact that when you are in ministry, it's not such a bad thing to have your personality typing be sort of central rather than on far ends of the scale. He mentioned that he feels like he's always feeling like he should be everything to everyone, and that's difficult when people come from so many different directions and personalities. So he said, having those levels be low, so I'm more centered, might be helpful later on. And I feel like I had to use it in education a lot as well. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we talked about the intuitive part, and he said being a minister, being intuitive is highly helpful for that as well, because you do have to be able to understand people, whether they can express themselves or not. And be able to reach into your instinct and rely on the Holy Spirit as you make decisions and deal with parishioners and the church as a whole. We talked about the pathways as well. Pastor Brian had never done anything like that, but was intrigued by it and really enjoyed learning a little bit from me about it. We talked about the different pathways that showed up for me, and he felt he probably would be a naturalist. He loves to be outdoors. He's a gardener and a hunter. So it was an excellent conversation just to enjoy sharing that information back and forth. So overall, we had an excellent discussion. I'm excited to share with him what I've put together with my strategy for implementing the pathways into my life, and see where we can go from there. Thank you.